Then let me show you what it feels like to be a woman. For reasons I couldn't explain, his words didn't spark resistance right away. They stirred an expectancy instead. I wondered what was wrong with me. I'd explored my body in private, only to find the experience empty and unfulfilling. Sometimes I even wished for a man to ease that discomfort, but never under circumstances like these. He kept pushing forward, the insistence of his body driving hard against my thong. The fabric was already forced inward. My thong offered almost no barrier, and his warmth was unmistakable. Sensation rose in slow waves, moving through my body and leaving my limbs unsteady. Fear and anticipation twisted together inside me, my resolve rocking between them. He approached without haste, holding me from behind as his hands moved from my waist to my chest. The pressure of his touch intensified everything. I felt myself grow weak, as though my body were yielding to it. It was the first time a man had touched me in this way, and the first time my body reacted without my understanding. The pleasure rose gradually, wearing down my resistance as it spread. Then he released me. I had been giving in to the sensation, and the instant his hands were gone, I felt empty and laid bare. Moments later, his hand traveled lower, sliding under my skirt. He pinched the edge of my thong and gently pulled it aside. In an instant, the most private part of me was left open to the air. "No, no, please don't," I blurted out. He continued to caress my butt with his hands, intentionally provoking my body. I know, when women say no, they mean yes. I barely dared to breathe, knowing that the way he was holding me meant he could enter me at any moment. I clenched my body tight, sealing myself off, or he'd have an opening to force his way in. The man stayed calm. He hooked his finger and teased me there with slow, deliberate movements. The sensation drove inward, so intense it nearly shattered my control. He raised his finger between us, examined the dampness on it, and said, "Stop pretending. Anyone who wears panties like this is obviously open. Look at you. You are already wet. Stop forcing yourself. Let go and feel what being a woman is like." The humiliation deepened until I felt completely exposed. "You are going too far. Aren't you afraid I will call for help?" He showed no fear. If anything, he seemed energized by it. "Go ahead. You could scream until you lose your voice and no one would notice." He was right. The noise in the venue was overwhelming, and even with his mouth close to my ear, his words were hard to catch. Panic and shame tangled inside me as my body started to betray my will, the tension I was holding starting to ease. Just then, a wash of light from the stage spilled over us, and our figures filled the giant screen. The man pressed himself against me and wrapped his arms around my body. To anyone watching, we looked like a couple. Even the celebrity on stage played along. Wow, our camera just caught a couple in the crowd. The man used the moment to kiss my cheek, and a small wave of excitement rippled through the audience. My face burned with embarrassment. When the camera finally moved on, I couldn't hold it back anymore. "You are out of your mind. All those people were looking at us." He simply smirked and brushed a kiss against my ear. "Everyone thinks we are a couple now. You might as well go along with it." My ears had always been the most sensitive part of my body, and when he kissed me there, my resistance faltered. The tension in my hips began to loosen, and he immediately took advantage of it, pressing forward. Heat flared through me, and I clenched down instinctively, holding my body tight around him and preventing him from moving any farther. We were caught in a silent struggle. He clearly had the upper hand, advancing little by little until he reached my most sensitive point. I knew that if it continued, I'd lose my first time to him, and I couldn't accept that from a man I didn't even know. Panic drove me to action, and I pinched his thigh with all my strength. He reacted at once and released me. I barely had time to draw a breath when the crowd suddenly shifted. People all around me began jumping in time with the music. Someone ahead of me stumbled and collided with me, forcing me backward. I tensed without thinking. Then, a strange sensation surged up inside me, hot and unrelenting. My eyes widened. Oh no, it had already gone in.